To the class of 2020.
To the class of 2020.
With love.
With love.
With love, the class of 2020.
I did not envision my last semester of college going like this. I can't even say this with a straight face. Like, literally, this is not how it was supposed to go. Like,
Oh, now it's like we're all in the worst movie ever.
I feel as though the first 3 years of college, I kind of sacrificed some things because it was like, oh, I have senior year, or I have next year, to kind of maybe put my nose to the grindstone. So this was the semester that was supposed to be fun.
I was most looking forward to just getting one last ride with my roommates.
This year I was really starting to come into my own in terms of like my social life at Bentley, and like, what? I was just getting started. Like, what's happening?
For me, I really did not think that this pandemic was going to pan out at all. I was like, oh, remember swine flu? Like, that was such a joke. Like, people were dressing up as pigs for Halloween. Like, it was funny.
I don't think it actually hit me up until they made everyone, like, not even when my classes were made like online, they made everyone from all our campuses like around the world like come home. I got the email that they were sending everyone home. I literally like burst out crying.
It just felt like email after email after email. It was like punch in the gut, each one. And I can't even turn on the TV because that would just be like an added layer of just sadness. So
Yeah, when they made that call, essentially everyone having to move out was the nail in the coffin. If everyone's moving out, they're not going to move back in. So I kind of was expecting it, but yeah, it doesn't make it easier by any means.
before I got to the stress of like needing to finish assignments, I was in denial about not going back to school, and that just like paralyzed me from doing anything related to school.
Now we're just at quote unquote Zoom university, just doing interviews virtually like this, a lot of meetings.
I mean, it's honestly better than I thought it would be. Just seeing everyone in class brings some sense of normalcy back. So I guess Zoom University isn't nearly as bad as people make it to be.
I think it's going well considering the circumstances, and there are people who have like disappeared off the face of the earth since we started like classes online.
The playing field is not as level as it once was. And I'm fortunate enough to be able to adapt a lot better than a lot of other students, but I still feel not as prepared as when I'm in class. So I can't even imagine what it must feel like for other students.
To get the motivation to do all that, it's definitely difficult. I think right now I have a lot of motivation to do it, and I've been very good about that just because the end is near, because I'm working towards that end goal to say, okay, I have one more week, let's do it, let's end strong, and then I'm done with school for who knows how long, unless I decide to go to graduate school. But I mean, I would say that finding that motivation has been easier now, but when you say 2 weeks ago, I mean,
My level of motivation has been like, if this is like the bottom, it's probably like here. It's just so exhausting to just be in the situation that we're in the first place and just kind of be stuck at home. And like the reason I'm always out is because that's how I get like my energy, like just being active and moving around and stuff.
I was working towards graduation, and I knew that was going to be like such an exciting time. Like that week was going to be so awesome for me, and I work my best when I have a milestone to hit. So not having that milestone, it was really hard for me to like get through the past few weeks on Zoom University. The graduation piece has like completely gutted me, to be honest.
Having a graduation to me means like I feel like it's always been such a milestone for everyone. And graduating for me was always something that I was looking forward to my family from around the country was going to fly into Boston.
Not to be like super selfish or childish, but I just honestly feel like seniors like this year all around the world have been robbed of like so much, and it's like, yeah, there's like a lot of other like a lot more terrible things happening, but also we're justified in like our frustration and our like sadness and pain because like we've worked so hard for this. And like I just can't, like I think about the like first generation like college students and like how this was going to be like a huge moment for them, and like now it's just like if your college is not doing a deferred graduation, like you're not getting that photo of you like getting your diploma and stuff like that. Like that's super sad, and it's a huge deal.
Just being able to go to graduation parties, you know, having your family at graduation, that whole experience, being in a cap and gown with all of your academic honors and regalia, like all of those things. So and like potentially dinner after graduation, obviously senior week. So all those plans are just no more.
And I don't think even today I've really come to terms with how my senior year is ending. I have a great support system here at home, but no one knows what you're going through because it's you. So it's been hard to describe how I'm feeling to other people who aren't going through the same experience.
What I miss most is the people. I mean, personally, I'm such a people person. I love being busy, you know, having like, you know, my day is kind of structured, or, you know, being able to stop by my best friend's room on my way to the dining hall, or a sudden text like, hey, want to get lunch together? Instead, it's like, I'm surrounded by the same 4 people all the time, and I'm sick of them, You know, we can do Zoom meetings and all this stuff. It's like, it's not the same. And, you know, there was always that thought of like people always being attached to their phones and stuff like that. Okay, well now truly people are attached to their phones because their phone is their connection to the outside world and social life.
And it's definitely getting a little bit lonelier out in LA just because all of the BU LA students are gone. I do have some friends that are graduates that are older than me and are still out here, so like that's nice. But they're all pretty much quarantined.
I am usually described as like a happy-go-lucky person with a smile always on my face. And that hasn't been the case lately. So, not as positive as I usually am, I think would be the best way to describe it.
And yeah, a lot of days I have not wanted to be here. It's been hard to like deal with, but I do have a therapist, and that's been really good for like my mental state.
This is clearly an unfortunate event, and I feel selfish sometimes for feeling like I don't get to do the things I thought I was going to be able to do when graduating college. And I think I'm coming around to like allowing myself to feel that way and not beating up on myself.
It kind of drives you crazy. At least it did like in the beginning, but I do think it's kind of growing on me now, which is kind of sad, but like it's also good because like I feel like the fact that I was like around people all the time was kind of like my way of just distracting myself from my like real problems. But mentally, I think it's kind of strengthening me a little bit, even though it did kind of like destroy me for low-key 3 weeks when we first started like quarantining.
I think a lot of us are often living our lives at a breakneck speed, and now we can't. We physically cannot go as fast as we used to or wanted to. So I think a lot of people are looking at this season with like, oh, I have to get this or I have to get that. And yeah, I mean, I've signed up for a couple online courses to help me grow my business, but apart from that, I honestly just chill out a whole lot. Watch Netflix, work out, read books. Honestly, like, I don't think this has to be some supercharged season of productivity.
I don't really think very highly of myself, and I think just being forced to sit and think and just kind of address certain things, like it just comes naturally that yes, you're gonna think about these things because there's only so many things you can do when you're like at home, you know? And I think it's helped a lot with like my self-esteem a little bit, but just kind of realizing that I don't need other people to feel good, because on the days that I do feel good, like that's all me, you know?
Really reflect on yourself and figure out if the career path you once thought you wanted, see if like you do want to continue with that. Can you really picture yourself in this position? Yeah, you might have been studying it for the last 4 years, but is it something that you really see for yourself? Is that a job that you want for yourself? Is that a life that you want? And like really reevaluate that to make sure you know, that you're going to be happy where you are. So I think that this is a great time for you to figure out what you really, really do want in life.
Find different things that make you happy. So not to like harp on what's making you sad, not to invalidate that it is making you sad, but it doesn't help when you're just sitting there focused on it. So some of the things that I've done is I've tried to, you know, do things again that make me happy. So it's nice to outside, go for a walk, hang out with my family, because like your family are people too. So do like, even if you don't necessarily have like a close relationship with your family, why don't you make one? This is your opportunity to do two things: work on yourself and work on your personal relationships.
I feel like peace of mind that as of right now, knock on wood, none of my family members are sick. That keeps me like calm and like able to just like continue with my day, knowing that if someone that I knew or was very close to was sick right now, I think it would be really hard for me to get through the day-to-day.
You have to look big picture, and big picture is that people who were otherwise healthy are now losing their lives. People our own age, you know, we initially thought this virus couldn't affect teenagers, but now people our age are dying of like complications and strokes, and it's even affecting babies now. So I think my heart really does go out to the families that are losing loved ones during this time.
I think the most disappointing thing about my situation right now is the fact that there are still some people out there who don't think it's as serious as it is and are still going out and partying and like going to the beach and like are literally protesting to have their like cities like reopened and or like states like reopened. Like all these people that are gathering, like one of them must be infected, you know? Like just like, yeah, it's just logically like they're all gonna get sick, like, and that's not gonna help anyone. Like they're like, people are dying. Like this isn't a game, you know? Like you need to stay home. Like if everyone just stayed home for like a month, like that would help so much.
I think that this virus is really just a comma in our lives, and it's definitely not a full stop. And I think eventually it's going to wind down, it's going to cool down, and things will be back to normal. But maybe it might be a new normal, but I think normalcy will return in one way or another. And just kind of keep your head up, because when this is all over, you don't want to look back and be embarrassed at how you dealt with it. So I truly think there's light around the corner.
To my friends and classmates of 2020, I think that, you know, like, remember that we're all in this situation together and it's all going to work out in the end. And I think that everyone that's stressing out about jobs, like, remember, employers know what's going on. It's not a secret. And that, you know, like, don't be stressed about, you know, getting your first job, because now more than ever, everyone, like the entire country, is thinking about us, and they know how hard it has been for us, that they're not going to discredit us for why we weren't employed upon graduation in May.
I think one thing I would take away from this experience is to definitely appreciate how like little you have, because it's always enough. That's something I've been thinking about for a while. It's like, I mean, I don't have much now, you know, like I don't really have a job. Like I don't really have any source of income right now. I'm thankful like I have like my mom to like support me, but like I don't really have any people around me. I don't have like, you know, I don't know. any fun things to do, but like I'm still here and I'm still like making do with whatever I have, and like it's still enough to keep you going, you know?
I think what COVID-19 has given us is, while it's taken away so much, it gives us an opportunity for the future. Because like I said earlier, you know, we're built for success. Like, we have all the tools that we need. And if anything, we're developing more tools to overcome obstacles in the future. So it's kind of a learning moment to show that if we can get through this, we can get through anything.
I'm proud of myself and all the other members of the class of 2020 that we've gotten through such a challenging time. I'm proud of us.
Yes, we're gonna make it, guys. It's not the way we thought, but we're gonna make it.